Hey friends, welcome back here. So I find many people struggling with their productivity and they just keep complaining that, oh, I don't have enough time and there just wasn't enough time. And oh, I couldn't find the time to do this thing or that thing. And usually the problem isn't that there is less time than is needed, but rather the time that is available is not utilized properly. So this is a common mistake among a lot of people. And today we'll talk about the one factor which can significantly affect and actually improve your productivity and how you can actually solve this problem of not having enough time. All right, so the idea is that the kind of people who actually complain that they don't have enough time, usually just do this. They just sit in noisy environments with their phone in their hand, and they have their phone just pinging and ringing all the time, constantly telling them, that, hey, I'm a phone, pick me up. And they're just checking their mail and looking at old photos while just trying to do the task at hand. And these people are completely unaware of how they are wasting the most valuable resource they have in this modern 21st century, their focus. Attention versus focus. So you might be confused that, hey, Lee, you just talked about focus, and focus is actually very similar to attention. So are these terms interchangeable? The answer is no, they're not. Attention is actually the ability to bring something from the unconscious mind to the conscious mind. If you're not paying attention on something, you're just subconsciously doing it or unconsciously doing it. Whereas if you're paying attention to something, you are consciously making the effort to attend to that thing. Now, focus, on the other hand, is the act of giving your attention to one stimulus and ignoring most others. And this is what you need to do. Basically, the idea is that you need to give your attention only to the task at hand. In essence, this is actually what focus is. So essentially, all you need to do is focus. All right, so by this point, we have identified that the people who do not have enough time, the problem with them is that they just cannot focus or they do not focus on the task. Now, you might be asking me, Haley, how the hell do I focus? Well, it's relatively easy to start focusing, and practice makes it better. Here are a few tips for improving your ability to focus. All right, so tip number one is to minimize distractions. Now, this is the first thing that you can do to improve your focus. A distraction is anything which consumes your attention and makes you want to focus on something else, which is not really the real thing that you are trying to do right now. If you feel like that, then the best thing that you can do is to minimize that distraction and remove it from your life. For example, if you feel the urge to pick up your phone while you are working, just move your phone away from you, or at least if you can't do that, just put your phone on silent. There are situations where you cannot remove the distraction from your life. For example, if your neighbor is mowing the lawn while you're trying to write your essay, all you can do is really just move to some other place. You can just move to a coffee place, coffee shop, or just a quiet library, or just any place where you can easily focus. So the idea is that if you cannot remove the distraction from your life, you can remove yourself from the life of that distraction, at least temporarily. So minimizing distractions can greatly improve your focus and your productivity. So just focus on minimizing distractions. Tip number two is to keep your phone under control. So in the 21st century, phones are quite possibly the best invention. They are small, they're tiny, they're lightweight, they're easy to carry, and they're easy to use, which makes them a very attractive device. But they just end up working against us and getting in the way very often. There have been many instances of people who are focusing on a task. They're absolutely focused right in, and they're like building that connection and that map of ideas. But suddenly their phone just pings and they just completely forget all of those ideas. They just wasted about 15 minutes of thought process. And then all it turned out was a random, useless, pointless notification from Uber or some pizza shop you visited 3 years ago and installed their app out of impulse. And then you just spend the next 15, 30, 20, 45 minutes looking at your phone pointlessly without any reason. And congratulations, you've just wasted 1 whole hour. Now, to cope with that, there are very easy ways. And the first way is to just remove your phone from your life. I don't mean to throw out your phone in a fire or just break it. Don't do that. Just put your phone away when you are working. If you're at home, leave your phone in another room from where you are working. If you cannot do that, just put it under your bed when you work in your bedroom. And there are times when you can never really leave your phone alone because it might get stolen or somebody might just pull a prank on you. So that is when you need to do the least thing that you can. Just put your phone on silent, turn on do not disturb, and put it face down on the table, or better yet, put it in your pocket. The second thing that you can do is turn off notifications, especially for apps that keep pinging you all the time. Social media apps which you put on your phone, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just turn notifications off. You can always reply to comments 2 hours, 3 hours later when you have the time, and there's no need to get back to it right now. Now, another way you can keep your phone under control is to put only the right apps in your phone and remove all distracting apps. Some people consider that it goes just a little too far, that you just start uninstalling and deleting all those social media apps, but it actually helps a lot. I only use Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest on my phone. And these apps I only use when I absolutely have to. Other apps like Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, I don't have them installed on my phone. And that has just improved my life by so much. I never use them. I never get back to them. And when somebody shares the link of those apps, I can always open that in the browser. And if I ever have to absolutely use them, I can always do that in the browser. So that just saves me a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it just helps me focus better. And I believe that it can help you focus better as well. So really just keep your phone under control and be mindful of what you're doing. All right, so tip number three is to tell your family, your friends, and your coworkers. These are people who are actively engaged with you in a relationship. You both of you have just negotiated some terms and some levels of intimacy and just frankness, and you just interact with each other on almost a daily basis. So to get past this, all you need to do is tell them that you are working and you would appreciate it if they don't disturb you in that time. Right. So tip number four is to define clear tasks and objectives. So many times people cannot focus simply because they do not know what they have to do right now. They just randomly move around, wasting time, figuring out what they have to do, but not really getting anything done. So whenever you realize that you do not know what to do in the next 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, you need to define that right now. Ideally, you should plan your day in the morning or on the day before. But if half of the day is gone and you have already aced your to-do list, but there are like 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours left in the day, just take 15 minutes to decide what you want to do in the rest of the day. This will just give you a direction and you won't be pointlessly wandering around figuring out what you have to do, but not getting anything done and wasting time. And then there is one thing that you need to remember while you do define this task that you're going to do. This task does not need to be related directly to work. You don't need to be absolutely productive all the time. This can actually be something like dinner with family, go for a walk, or meditate. You can spend the remaining time of the day to take care of yourselves and strengthen the relationships that you have. This is really the idea, the essence of productivity. And finally, tip number five is actually borrowed from this book, Hyperfocus by Chris Bailey. Now, Chris says that if you keep focusing all the time, your focus is a limited resource and it is going to drain very quickly. So whenever you feel like your focus is wandering, and no matter how hard you try, no matter how many distractions you remove and how many people you tell that you're focusing, if you still cannot focus, you should know that your ability to focus is actually at its lowest right now. And you need to recharge your focus. Now, the only way to repair and recharge your focus is to, well, not focus on anything. That is what unwind really means. You need to unwind. You need to unfocus. You need to just relax and do something relatively mindless. Now, Chris says that you could just wash the dishes or clean the house or do anything which does not involve a lot of thinking, a lot of thought process, a lot of focus. I personally like to take care of my plants, just watering them, pruning their dead leaves and leaves which I do not want, and then observing them, how they've grown in just like the past 30 days or past 15 days, past week. Or alternatively, I just go for a walk. If you need to unwind, just try different things and figure out what recharges your batteries in the most effective manner. Whatever it is, just do that thing whenever you feel down, and hopefully your focus will recharge. All right, so this is quite the end of the video. And as a recap, if you feel that you do not have enough time, the thing is that you don't actually have less time than you need, but rather you have less productivity, less focus than you need. You can always utilize your time in a better way. And to do that, you can minimize your distractions, keep your phone under control, tell your family and friends about your focusing time so that they don't bother you during those times. Define clear tasks and objectives so that you don't spend time mindlessly trying to figure out what you have to do. And above all, take time to unfocus, unwind, and spend some quality time with your family, friends, and loved ones. I hope these tips help you become more productive and reduce your stress, and you can finally get over complaining all the time that I don't have enough time. And I just hope that these brought some value to you. If they did, please like the video and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.